Perfect. Perfect. So, Sidney, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you? My dog is here, because that's
Yeah,
the.
it's perfect. I love it. I live with 3 dogs, so I know what you mean.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, they're amazing. And welcome here. It is so cool and amazing. And you know, like, what better way to finish an epic day with someone as awesome and talented? You know what I mean?
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So before we start, I have to give you a proper intro, proper welcome. If you have seen some of my episodes before, you know exactly what I'm about to do. If not, that's awesome. So then I can surprise you. So let me show you. Love it. You know, we're still, COVID. We can have audience. You know what I mean? So
We gotta bring the excitement however you can get it.
exactly. I love it. So welcome here. As I said, it is super cool to have you here. So starting with everything here, tell me how your modeling career started.
That's such a good question because I feel like I have a really unconventional start. I think a lot of people feel like it's so hard to break into the industry, whereas it happened really naturally for me. Ever since I was a kid, I've been in entertainment. I used to do a lot more acting, but I've been very charismatic, and I just think I had a really friendly face and was an outgoing kid. So a lot of people would ask me to jobs for them. So I would get a lot of requests to do modeling, actually. So I started when I was a kid, started by people asking me, and then eventually I just became so comfortable with it. When I was 8, I decided to start taking it seriously, and I was a freelance model for a long time. Finally, just now, I signed with a really big agency that I'm looking forward to talking about, but it's been a long ride to get to where I am, but the start was very natural.
Totally. Wow. And what were some of the challenges that you had? Because I think that whenever you're starting doing something, at first, you just don't know what the hell you're doing. You know, you're just gonna be like, it's like this huge learning curve. So for you, on your case, like, what were some of the challenges that you had when you were, recently started?
That's a really good question. At first, I think when you're so used to just doing something for fun, it's hard to start asking for money. When you realize that it's your passion and you want it to become your livelihood, a lot of times people expect you to just keep doing it, but there's sort of this understanding amongst artists that I really don't like, where people just do their job for free. I think anyone who's a hairstylist, a makeup artist, like, they're constantly saying like, oh yeah, have you do my makeup, like, you should do it when you come over next time. Like, no girl, that's my job. I'm trying to just hang out. I'm not trying to work. So that was one of the hardest, trying to look for compensation, as well as, I've never really been afraid of rejection. I'm very confident in myself, but I think that I would hold myself back by not thinking I was ready for certain things.
Okay.
Didn't know what to expect. So I wish that I had begun to educate myself on the industry a little bit earlier, because now I'll take like any information I can get. I just went a little bit earlier. So that was a struggle as well.
Yeah. You know what? It's so interesting because, as you just mentioned, that whenever you are either in the arts industry or entertainment industry or like whatever, that sometimes some people would tell you to do something for free, and you're like, no, that's my job. And then they will be telling you, then you don't really love it. You know what I mean? They will trying to blackmailing you, saying stuff like, then you don't really love it. You're not in it for the passion or for the art or stuff like that.
Yeah, if you're not an artist, I think it's something that you really don't understand. Like, anyone that's even the most passionate person in the world, they don't want to do it 24/7. They need breaks. They need to be, because you're not just paying me for the service I'm doing, you're paying me for all the years that it took me to become the established person, creative, and now.
Totally. And do you remember what was your first modeling job?
I honestly don't remember. I think it probably was a jewelry store somewhere in Connecticut, maybe Westport, that just happened to have some new pieces. I was like, oh, we need you to model this for us. Like, we need you to do it right now. But I can't remember exactly. That was a fun one, though. Yeah, I wish I remembered exactly what it was, and I wish I could go back and revisit it, but I didn't take it so seriously at the time of being a kid, so yeah.
Yeah, totally. And like, out of the places that you have been for a photo shoot, which one do you enjoy the most?
Which should I enjoy the most? My friend Zeb, I don't know if he's on here. I didn't actually tell him about this. I should have. He has a really, really cool home studio in San Diego that I love. But I have a bigger list of places that I want to shoot rather than places that I actually have shot. There is a photographer I work with a lot, Joe, in Boston. He took me to a gorgeous beach in Massachusetts as well, where we got great swim pics. That was another favorite. So I would say I like shooting outside a lot.
Yeah. So how cool is that? And which photo shoot has been like the most difficult to make, either because of the weather or any other kind of issue here?
Most difficult, I think one of the most challenging was, this was actually not even paid. This was a favor I did for a friend in high school. So, photography student, and she wanted me to look really, really upset. And at the time, I was just a little shy in being my full expressions. Now I can do any expression. Like, I'll do shocked. Like, I can do any expression. Literally, you tell me, I can do it. And that's actually, like, I feel like what is the main focal point of my reputation as a model, that I'm very expressive. But she wanted me to do like a really crying, upset thing, something like really upset and really graphically upset. And I just didn't feel comfortable in front of the camera yet to do it. So I think I looked upset, but it looked like I was a little bit pretending to be upset.
Okay.
What I wanted to be. So that was a really difficult one. But I have had difficult ones because of the weather as well. A designer that I worked with I worked with him when he was in college at Mass Art. He wanted to do a photo shoot outside in Chinatown, and we really only had one day to do it. And it was so freaking cold. It was lightly rainy, not enough to where we could say we have to cancel the shoot, but enough to stand out there and freeze. So it was very, that was challenging. And then we ended up like going into restaurants and stuff in Chinatown, and some of them let us shoot, some asked us to leave, but we got really cool stuff at the end of the day.
I love it. And which photo shoot has been the funniest one you ever did?
Oh, I like that question. The funniest. I think you always get the funniest pictures when you're comfortable like working with someone. Most actually just did one with Gregory in Connecticut, and I sort of didn't really come in with a concept, and he sort of didn't really have one in mind beforehand. So we ended up doing stuff with like teddy bears sitting on a ladder. I thought that was so funny. He like wired it so it would look like it was sitting. I loved that. Let's see what else is funny. I wish I did more funny stuff. I tend to do either like a little bit more sexy or more serious. That's a good one. I will say the swim shoot that I did, that was pretty funny too, because it was just like, whenever you're outside, things just happen. You trip, or if you're in the beach in New England, you're like kneeling on rocks, you're like hurting yourself, but worth it to get. That's one of my favorites too.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, it's a whole other process, right? The fact that, I mean, I would assume that, for example, it's cold outside and you need to either wear a swimsuit or something like that, and it's just killing you, but you need to pretend that everything's cool. So like, how you handle like whenever, like for the weather, for example, that it's totally freezing and you need to stay put.
Yes, I have done a shoot before where it was extremely cold, but I was very scantily clad, if you will, and my boyfriend was there to like throw the jacket. I would literally only take my jacket off for like 30 seconds max, and he would just throw it back on me. So those times where it's really, really almost unmanageably cold, you got with you to help you with it, because you can't jeopardize your safety, especially when you're a model. What you look like and how you feel transports the image. That affects the art. So having an assistant is often the right answer.
I love it. I like it. And like, what is your approach in modeling? I mean, like, how you prepare before a photo shoot? I mean, is there like a go-to song or a go-to meal for it?
Oh, like to rev up? I'm actually not I'm a really focused person. So a lot of times I find that photographers are being like, oh, let's put some music on, let's do this and that. I didn't even think of that. I'm just ready to go. I don't care how quiet it is, like nothing. So I don't know if I have an exact thing. I like to drink like a tea. It kind of helps you unbloat and feel confident and comfortable. And I like to make sure that I eat very clean and that I just feel confident in my skin. But in terms of like revving up, I think you feel the most revved up when you're just enjoying who you're working with.
Totally.
And that's
Totally. And like, how long usually takes a photo shoot? I mean, is there like I don't know, like 45? Or I mean, I could assume that it's depending on the project, right?
Totally, yeah. I mean, for me, I wonder what's the longest. I've done a 10-hour shoot. I haven't done any shoots, at least in a long time, that spanned multiple days. Because some of them could. I even was talking to an agent that said they sent a girl to Wisconsin for a week. Like, that's a big campaign.
Wow.
I did one for Beach Lunch Lounge, actually. That was for e-commerce, because they sell both to like retail as well as the retailers. So that was like 200 something outfits in 10 hours.
That's great.
They were incredible. They got me Ubers and they fed me, but it took a long time to do all those outfits. Yeah, that's probably one of the longest ones. Otherwise, it generally takes like 2, 4, 5 hours, not much longer than that.
Okay. And what do you usually do after a photo shoot? I mean, is there like any specific activity that you usually do?
Generally, unless you're doing a really, really long commercial photo shoot, you eat during the time, or you'll have little snacks. So I love wherever I am, especially if I'm shooting in New York, I'll go to like a super foodie neighborhood and just like eat whatever I want. That's so fun. Like, I had one in Herald Square the other day, and I just went to Koreatown and started eating like whatever I felt like there. That's definitely a go-to activity. But I'm a laid back person too, so I like to, after the shoot, just go like take my makeup off and get in comfortable clothes. It's the most relaxing feeling.
Yeah. Okay. That is so cool. Wow. So basically wearing like those, I know what you mean. I think we all have those clothes that we use it after either a stressful day or a busy day, that once you put them on, you're just like perfect. You know what I mean?
Especially because sometimes you can shoot in stuff that's really uncomfortable. Like physically relaxed. When you're modeling too, every part of your body is like at the top of your mind. Every part of your body, your face, you need to pay complete attention to what you're doing. So when you're clothes, you don't have to pay any attention to what you're doing. Is like the best thing you could do afterwards.
I love it. And what are some of your, like, from all of the photos that you have, tell me, like, what are some of your favorite ones, like your top 10 or your top 2?
I did one that, I don't know if it's still on my Instagram. It was a red leather jacket with red like swimsuit bottom and a red background. That was really cool. I love bright photos and vibrant colors. That was a really fun one that my friend Joe set up for me. I also shot with Larissa, and I'm not sure if she's still on here, but if she is, hey girl, we did a fruit themed photo shoot with like we did lemons, strawberries, and grapefruits. That was like very beauty themed, which was a little out of our normal wheel for both me and her, so that was really cool. Those were a really fun one too. I'm trying to think. Those would probably be like the top 2 favorites. The fruit one is really recent. I also really enjoyed working with Boost Oxygen this month, and I'm looking forward to working with them again. The biggest I've ever worked with. I love doing commercial work, so when I get to work with big companies like that, that was really enjoyable too. And they were kind of putting me out of my comfort zone, giving me like a tennis rack and make me do stuff that's a little bit more. I like to work out sometimes, but I don't do tennis. Sometimes I'll play basketball like I just did the other day, but that was actually a funny one, because I think people that know me are like, girl, what are you doing with a tennis racket? It was very unexpected.
I love it. And like, what advice could you give to those who recently started modeling?
Oh, I was just thinking about that actually, because I finally feel at 24 years old that I'm in a place where I have advice to offer. So the number one thing, and I think this is reiterated a lot, but you have to really accept it, is that get rejected. And you can't be afraid of the rejection, because if you allow the rejection to prevent you from doing it, you're just not where you're going to hear so many no's before you hear a yes. And I don't know why in modeling or entertainment people they take those no's to heart. I guess it's because it's something that is very, when you're invested in something, you don't want to hear no.
Yeah, totally.
Hard, right? But if like, let's say you have a marketing business and you're doing cold calling, you don't just call 3 people and they say no and you stop. You probably don't even get a yes until you've called 100 people. So I would say to put it in perspective and not take those no's personally, especially because all of the times that I've been rejected, whether it's like agents, brands, castings that I didn't make the final cut, I've learned so much that that exact information is why I am now finally where I am, exactly where I want to be. So not only to take those rejections with a grain of salt, but also to really honestly value them. Without those, I would not have the knowledge that I have, and I wish sooner that I had done all of this. So that's my biggest piece of advice, is that the rejections are actually valuable if you have the proper perspective.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I do agree on that. And I think that maybe like one of the reasons why maybe for some people it might be difficult, the whole rejection thing, is because I do think that we are currently living in this era in which we want things like this, and we can't handle the factors of receiving a no. It's like these new generations, they didn't taught them that sometimes it's a yes, but sometimes it's a no, and you need to learn how to handle rejection. You know what I mean?
That's so true, and I'm actually glad that you brought that up, because I'm a very impatient person. I do not have patience, so I don't like to do things that don't just come inherently naturally to me.
Totally.
Modeling, it just doesn't work that way, because modeling does come naturally to me. Like I told you, I started it in a very natural way, but without all the work that I've done the past few months, I could never be working with the agency I am now. Like, all I had to do was decide I want to take it seriously. That's what I actually did in December. I decided I'm seriously, I'm going to get an agent by January. And now I have 3, and 1 major one that I really respect. So I wish that I had just done those 7 weeks of work sooner. I feel like it would just took a lot for me to commit that I wanted to do it, and that was part of it as well. But the work, when you begin to commit to it, it pays off.
I love it. Yes. And if you could describe your career at the moment on a movie, TV show, book, or even a play, what would be the title of it?
Oh, that's such a good question. A title, I don't know, maybe it would be like, it would be something about like a long journey, but like an eventual payoff, because I really like whole life, and I'm finally just now where I want to be. So maybe like a long road to like stardom or something.
Okay, I like it.
Yeah, it would feel like a long time, so it would be something about a long road.
Okay. So basically, you can have this title, which is starting from the bottom. Now we're here.
Yeah, I can do that one too.
Love it. And if you could describe your career again, but now on a drink, which one would you pick?
I'll have to say Long Island iced tea, because they have everything in them, and I've done just about everything that you can think of in modeling.
Okay. I love it. Now, my last question here is, what motivates you? We all have those days, right, in which we just don't want to do it anymore. We think that it's been a waste of time. We think that we're not doing it properly. That we're the worst at it. It's like getting inside from all of those toxic thoughts. It's super easy, right? But tell me, like, what gets you out of it? What gets you again into your own growth and to continuing doing the thing that you love the most, which is modeling?
Yeah, part of it is that you have to find something that you're excited about. So in modeling specifically, if you're not excited about it and loving it, it's going to be way more work than it's worth for you. I sort of recently, like I said, found that I'm most excited in modeling, not doing runway, but when I'm doing like print, and not just any print, but with the big commercial brands.
Yeah.
That's why I looked for new representation that works with those brands. That was very helpful to do, because now I get to where I want to go, but sometimes it is hard to stay motivated. I think I just finally came to the realization, and I wish I could have sooner, that if you commit to doing the work, it's payoff. Sometimes I was thinking, I'm like, I'm going to do a little bit of the work, but that thing didn't work, and then I'm going to take a break. I just decided, like, enough with the breaks. I'm just going to do this with longevity, and it really, really did work out, even than I expected. Now I'm like, oh my God, that went by so fast. I should have done that years ago. But I wasn't sure that I wanted to do it years ago. So now that I'm 100% sure what I want to do, I think, another way that you can help stay motivated is by establishing what the goal is. So finding those things that excite you, that should be your goal.
There you go. Sidney, what can I say? Your career is amazing. I'm super sure that eventually we're going to see you everywhere. We're going to basically like that. And that's going to happen for sure. Because the fact that you're putting it like so much passion on it, and you are actually being honest with your craft, that is amazing. And that is something that I think everybody loves about you and loves about your career, that you're honest with it, that you are just doing it because you love it. And as simple as it sounds, it's so interesting that for some people it takes probably their whole life to realize that they should do what they love. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I even still feel like it took me a long time because I've been doing this for like my whole life. I don't know why I didn't realize like what I loved about it, but I'm glad that it happened and I'm here now. So what can I say?
I love it, TV. I love it. I mean, that is so amazing, and also, yeah, so amazing, so inspiring here. I mean, what can I say? I mean, it is really cool. As I said, I'm super sure we're gonna see you everywhere, like basically everywhere. That is amazing. And also, I want to thank those watching this right now. Thank you so much. If you are watching this later, either here or on YouTube, or probably you're listening later on Spotify or Apple Music, make sure that you're following Sidney. If you already do it, fantastic. Then what you're gonna do is that we're gonna leave 1 million likes right now. We're gonna share her content. I mean, let's make sure everybody knows about her. I mean, let's put hashtag #GoTeamSydney for sure. And Sidney, before I send you off, you know what is coming. I need to send you off properly again. Trust me that if I had red carpet, I would have already put it, but we're still working on it. But in the meantime,
Thank you.
No? Oh, perfect. So keep killing it, keeping amazing, keeping awesome. Have an amazing rest of the week, an amazing upcoming weekend, and nothing but amazing stuff because you totally deserve each and every one of them. And I'll see you in the next one. All right, bye.